Don't forget to suck some titties.
It's actually a true story. It happened the other night. Typically, I don't tell personal stories. Wink, wink. But the other night, I went to a 24-hour establishment. Actually, that sounded real sketchy. I went to a coffee shop. It sounded like I went to like some, club, if you know what I mean. The Poppin' Club seltzers. Poppin' booties. No, I went to a coffee shop to work on some stuff. It was late at night, 24 hours. And it's the weirdest thing, right? And I even talked about this person I ran into. I have not been to this place in probably at least half a year. And it's not far away from me. There's another location that's closer. I typically don't stay up that late. For various reasons, I haven't been to this location in like over half a year. Randomly one night, because I knew I needed to work on some stuff pretty late. They're open later. So I went there, got settled in, blah, blah, blah. About like 45 minutes, an hour after I'm there, another guy comes in. He sits not too far away from me. He has a computer, kind of doing his own thing. We don't say nothing. He gets my attention, and we just kind of converse. He asks, what am I working on? I show him, and he does some editing too. He has a YouTube channel. He does vlogging. And it's weird. We both subscribe to each other's channel, and we just got to talking about, he came down here to Georgia to basically be the social media manager of a company's team, but it's like a group of people that run like a windshield company, if I remember correctly. But then he also does like their personal, Instagrams and stuff like that. Basically, their social media manager. And it's weird because he came all the way from up north. And he literally just moved here a couple weeks. And it's where you run into people when you like are just consistently doing something, and you're really just consistently like into something. You typically gravitate to areas where people like that may be there without even realizing. It's a gravitational pull without realizing. Like, what are the odds? And he even proved like it was weird, because it was like, this is going to sound gay, right? Like, it wasn't fate, but it was definitely like, what are the odds? Because the only reason why he was at that place was because he actually missed, because he's new to the area, he missed a couple turns. He was trying to go somewhere for Wi-Fi. They didn't have it there. He went somewhere else. They didn't have Wi-Fi. He was supposed to go to another place, but he took a wrong turn. He came here. They happened to be open late, and he went in there, and I happened to be there. And now as we run into each other, and it's the first time in a while I've run into someone who had a similar interest, who does a similar thing, like learning editing and stuff like that. It's like really cool. Like, what are the odds of this, At a time where I needed just to converse with someone about something, he conversed with me about, what I do and stuff like that. Similar interests. Like, it does not happen often randomly. It's always like you meet someone on a website, you meet through common hobby type of apps, you go to actual conventions where everyone's like, it was very subdued. It was very natural. Like that time of night, we're both grinding late at night. Like this is like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning type shit. And we're both there. He's tired as hell. He's trying to edit and work on some stuff. I was already there editing. I showed him. I just started. I told him like I'm new to this shit, the editing stuff, and he was showing me some stuff, and then it was like this really cool, like genuine transaction. And then he just naturally then we did our own thing for a while, and then before he left, he asked me just a question about Jesus and stuff. And I'll be honest, typically when it goes down that road, I'm like, they got me. All this was a facade for Jesus. All this was a facade to give me a brochure, to invite me to a church, to preach the Lord. And he asked me a simple question. He's like, what do you think about Jesus? And I said, you mean about the guy, the figure, or the religion? Like, he's like, no, just like, what do you think about Jesus? And I gave my opinion. Like, I don't know if he's real or not real. I think he's supposed to be more of a consistent figure over time to make it easier to tell stories and fables about how perseverance, and it's supposed to be more of a message about how everything came together, and kind of a central figure to make that easier to tell over time. So there's a consistent storytelling. And he didn't fight back or nothing. He just said, that's really interesting. And he started telling me a story about his friends and religion and how they're deep into God. And he's religious, but he's not like that, like hardcore into it. And it was the first time in a very long time that someone asked me about religion and Jesus. And I genuinely felt they weren't judging. I genuinely felt they were actually listening to what I was saying. And they were legitimately curious. And they didn't ask with the intention of spewing, I don't want to say it, but they didn't have the intention of spewing just their beliefs and why I'm wrong for thinking that. And only thing he says, we went down the open-minded route and all this stuff. It was the first time, I was actually not turned off by it. It actually felt genuine he was actually just curious about me and, what I do, trying to find a commonality, see if there's a connection in that aspect and what we do. And, he actually had, a balanced view about it. And that it was really cool because it was unexpected. Two people have similar interests. Two people, and typically when people ask you about God and religion, it can go down to very they just talk your ear off about having faith and have you ever thought about this and the reason why Jesus saved my life and all this stuff. It never went to that deep of a level. He just asked what do you think about him? And that's it. He listened, and it was just it wasn't even about it being civil, because obviously it was. It was genuinely about when someone actually listens, it actually does make you think about what you're saying. If you want people to think about Jesus and convert more, stop being combative and just let people speak. It's a crazy thought. But it's amazing. Because it's something it's weird. It's always the unexpected interactions that really make your day, make your week. It kind of reinforces some things about yourself. Because sometimes doing this, you're being very honest about it, it's a very lonely thing. And look, it's not a terrible thing. It's a privilege to be able to do this, whether you're getting paid or not, whether it's successful or not successful. It's a privilege to be able to have that option to turn on your camera, speak your thoughts, do whatever the fuck you want, and put it out there for the world to see. That is a privilege within itself. But look, when you're doing it all yourself, it's it can be time consuming if you're putting the time into it. It's very lonely if you do it by yourself, because it's all you, your thoughts. You kind of get in your own egotistical way of thinking. You really it's really all about you and what operates for you, so you can be, what you need to be for what you think you need to be for it to be what you need to be, And and to have someone where it's just hey man, it's really admirable and cool to watch you do it. Just to see holy shit, you've done a lot of episodes. Like, that's dedication within itself. It's like, yeah, I've done a lot of episodes. That is pretty damn impressive, And it's just that, you get that type of just genuine. It wasn't a love fest or nothing like that. But it was just genuine mutual respect and interest in something. And that was the coolest thing, man. It's always the unexpected. Like, I didn't go out that night expecting anything. I went there to watch a basketball game on my laptop and then edit and, nothing crazy. And then that happened. It deterred that. And it was the best thing that happened. It kind of broke up the monotony. It broke up the expected thing I was going to do and made it unexpected. And it kind of brought life out of me a little bit, Because sometimes you do stuff like this, when you're on your laptop all day, looking at stuff, uploading, editing, timestamps, blah, 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 boring shit. It's like your whole thing is just about this thing that you've already done and you have to listen to it again. You're in your own world, and for someone from the outside to be like, hey, I like this world that you've created, man. You're just like, two egotistical pricks. Yeah, that's what I like.